Taxi for Triple. Taxi for a Mr. Triple. Is Mr. Triple here? Mr. Triple H. Taxi for Triple. Hi. That is one of the strangest skits I've ever done. I need to work on my intros because that sucked. But welcome. Welcome, everybody. We are live on Twitch. We are live on YouTube. We are live with a watch party. Ready for a Smackdown that promises to be quite the performance. Genuinely quite the performance. Just a lot, you know? Just a lot. We have John Cena. We potentially have Sasha Banks. We have Finn Balor. We have Toni Storm debuting. We potentially have Naomi debuting. Smackdown is it's ever so slightly stacked this week. I am your host. I am Tom Collihew, and by host, I literally mean just host. I will be guiding you through a WWE Smackdown that should hopefully basically provide all the guidance itself. We shouldn't really have to worry too much about providing enthralling commentary because it should be a show that's just good, you know? It's rare, I'll admit that, but it should be a show that's just good. Welcome, Michael. How you doing, mate? How you doing? I feel like I haven't seen you in ages. Ages. But yeah, I'm on StreamYard now, so I can click on things when it loads. Michael says, hi, Tom. Welcome, Michael. How are you? Now, I know you're still not regularly watching Raw, and after this week's Raw, I get it. I get it. But are you watching SmackDown with us today? Will you be watching for the John Cena? Will you be watching for the Toni Storm? Will you be watching for the potential Sasha Banks? That's the best thing about SmackDown, I think. That it has Sasha Banks on the good show. Because if she was on Raw, I'd be tempted to even not watch her. Michael says, it has been too long. Doing well, hope you are. I'm definitely watching SmackDown. Cool. I am doing well, thank you. I spent the last hour basically chatting on Twitter, I'll admit. I usually have a nap, but I got into a conversation, you know? You know when you think, I'm going to do this, but then you get into a conversation. I don't know. And Kura says, my question about news sources was yay or nay Wrestle Talk? Nay, basically. But I don't think they claim to at this point. The only time they claimed to was one particular person who, curiously enough, said 2 or 3 reports and then shut the hell up and hasn't really spoken since. And let's have a look at what those reports were, because Wrestle Talk had exclusive news. WWE really liked Drew McIntyre, who was the current WWE champion. WWE really liked Asuka, who was the current Raw Women's champion. It's not really news. You know? It's not really news. And Michael says, if Sasha were on Raw, I'd watch her match or segment, and that's about it. Yeah, to be honest, I'd probably watch on YouTube. You know? You can keep up to date with everything going on WWE just by going onto YouTube. Thank you, Michael. Saying Indy versus Aaliyah was the dark match. Is it Aaliyah? Aaliyah? I want to say Aaliyah. Indy Hartwell, a member of The Way. I have been told repeatedly they don't want to call up The Way. This could be a sign of things to come in that department. It usually takes a little bit longer for the chats to fill up during these watch parties because notifications don't go out on Twitch as they normally would. I did post something on Twitter saying I'll be online in about 20 minutes. So, shall we post something new? Because we are about to start. SmackDown is going live. Shut up, Ziggles. Now, put the link in. Sorted. So yeah, SmackDown looks destined to provide this week. I'm wondering what's going to happen between John Cena and Roman, because they only have, 4 weeks, maybe 5, to really get this story white hot. Now, it could be that we just have promo 1 week, promo the next week, promo the next week. I genuinely wouldn't mind that. I genuinely wouldn't. I'd quite enjoy that as an option. I'm going to change the color of my ring light so I look a bit different than my walls. There's progress on that. Slowly but surely we're getting there. Then, now, forever, together, is showing on our screens. If you are watching on YouTube, please do remember you can chat to us, you can chat away, you can of course click like on this video. That helps me with the algorithms, help new people find us here on YouTube, and of course gives us the ability to gain new subscribers that could potentially turn into more people for Twitch in the future. So if you are watching, please do remember to click like. It is a cold open again. No big video. John Cena to open. John Cena to open. Not a surprise. No booze. I detect no booze. Bailey says, has the temperature cooled down this evening? It has. When I started spoiler warning, the sun was still up. Now it's not. Now it is pitch black outside. I think you can just about see it. Yeah, you can literally just see that little square of darkness. Pitch black outside. Sun's gone down. It's a lot cooler. I was worried earlier. I did this and my hand was wet. I was worried I was going to have to strip off on stream. And if that happened, I have to then call it a beach or a hot tub stream. I don't want to do that. Kuro says, Summer of Cena, indeed. He's working a full schedule until SummerSlam and then he's off again. Michael saying, John Cena sucks. That cracked me up so much. Yeah, there were no initial boos. And then the John Cena suck came in. And you know what? He respects that. He gets it. He gets that everyone's just having fun. There is a lot of Cena signs. Like a lot of Cena signs. There's a ding dong get well sign. Oh, that is so cute. Hello, Lizzie. Welcome to the show. How the devil are you? Tell me how you are and how are you doing? Welcome back. Summer of Cena has already become branding, which is not a surprise to me. Funny when you've just heard about CM Punk and now it's a Summer of Cena, much like the Summer of Punk way back when. Way back when. Respects to whoever brought the ding dong get well sign for the crowd. I like to respect people who do good things. You get me. You get me. Jermaine is here. Welcome, mate, saying, hi, Tom. It's Friday Night Smackdown. Yes, it is. Oh, and it promises good stuff. It promises very good stuff. Michael says, absence definitely makes the heart grow fonder. You can literally hear it right now. John Cena is hyped. Hyped. Welcome, Para. How the devil are you? I feel like I haven't spoken to you in so long. So long. And Kuro says, why is everyone posting that Jericho said CM Punk is with AEW? Because people post bullshit. It's that simple. Master of the Fox, Dean Fall, hell of a name, just says Cesaro. I don't know if there's meant to be more, but they just say Cesaro. I'm guessing you're a fan. I also quite like Cesaro. Oh, fourth wall break immediately. Lifeless egomaniac Roman Reigns. That's where we're going with this. He referenced the Firefly Funhouse. We're all just ignoring that. No, we're all just genuinely ignoring that. Cesaro versus Cruz. I believe it's Big E versus Cruz tonight. Ed is here, says, Tom, do you want to wear a Christmas jumper? It's warm, mate. Do you remember earlier when I went like that and there was just a load of sweat in my face? Yeah, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Don't be an evil bastard. And Heretic Sakura is here saying, any room on Demon Finn having a match at SummerSlam? Not that I have heard. I've heard nothing about Finn Balor wrestling at SummerSlam, but I have heard there are already plans in place to bring back the Demon King. So I can say there will definitely be a Demon King, but not necessarily at SummerSlam. Cena's still running in with all the cheap pops. Welcome to the show, Megan. Megan immediately getting herself a 24/7 championship win. So VIP for Megan Sittin. And how are you? Already a VIP. Already a VIP. John Cena's changed his name. John Guardian Cena. This is too meta. Demon King versus Sami Zayn. We don't need the Demon King. Finn Balor can destroy Sami Zayn without even trying. Liz says, Tom recognizes me between his followers. I'm feeling like a winner right now. To be fair, I basically recognize everyone who comes in this chat. On Twitter, not so much. But I try and follow everyone who follows me here on Twitter as well. So it's easy enough to remember people. It says, I'm melting and I hate this heat. It can do one. It's at least a little bit better than it was earlier today. I spent most of the day not wearing any top, sweat dripping down me. It wasn't pretty. Gotcha. Okay. I did not know that. Michael explaining, the MLB team, the Cleveland Indians, changed their name to the Cleveland Guardians. I thought it was the Guardians of the Galaxy reference. Cena's the only person allowed to point at the camera. Sami is a cheater. He's also won one match since February, so not really a threat. Paris says, a Funhouse match could have been so good. Genuinely believe it would have been better if they'd cut between the match in-ring and the madness. It depends. They wanted to go full alternate universe. Bray Wyatt, for me, is too self-indulgent. Just too self-indulgent, and that really shows. Particularly there, the swamp fight is too much. Cena is asking me what I believe in. He wants people to pick sides between Cena and Reigns. We're going to cheer for you, John. We're going to boo Roman, but we're on Roman's side. I want you to know that. We're on Roman's side. Who's nabbing the variant gimmick first? I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll take that long, to be completely honest with you. I'm still on cargo pants, given the choice. No, I don't want to boo Roman. I'm not going to. I get cheering Cena, but you know. I'm trying to keep an eye out for some familiar faces. Rick Ucchino is somewhere in this crowd. Near the front. He's on like the floor. And also, of course, Corey. Corey is in that crowd somewhere. Vabav is here. Welcome, mate. The Hi Tom Smackdown isn't live in India because the channels are broadcasting Olympics. Fair enough, mate. I completely understand if you don't want to join us for the watch party. There will be spoilers. There will be spoilers. But happy to see you jump in. If you want to stick around, you're, of course, very welcome. Michael says he's Team Jorts all day. All day. Oh, missed one. There is a rumor that Brian has gone to AEW. I will be posting a YouTube video on that tomorrow, 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. EST. You can check it out. It was recorded on Twitch earlier today for spoiler warning. A lot of detail on that one. And Rob Walker says, it amazes me how much Cena is still mega over. If anything, he seems to be more over than ever before. Absence does indeed make the heart grow fonder. Cena's called out Roman. I don't think Roman's going to answer him. I think Jey Uso is going to answer him. I'd like Jey Uso to answer him. For those who don't know, I'm drinking cherry Coke. Maybe Finn Balor. Send Finn Balor out and just have a wrestling match. John, Roman's not coming. Paul Heyman. Big cheer for Paul Heyman. Coming out on behalf of Roman Reigns. Megan says, don't be teasing me with Finn. You tease yourself with Finn Balor, just so you know. So do I. But if I had abs like that, oof. My mistake, Para. Thank you very much for reminding me. Nemesis Paradox, the new 24/7 champion. Yes, thank you for reminding me. So I've got the activity feed and I've got the chat, and it doesn't always automatically come through. Because if I've clicked on anything on the chat, it just hides it all. So that's what it was. So I have to un-VIP our good old Megan Sittin. Not old. Megan, our stat queen. I say things sometimes. Michael says at least it's not going to be Riddle. Still time. Still time. Pardon me. And Dean says Sami Zayn is far from becoming WWE champion. Correct. Correct. It's there. I said a thing. I take it back. My bad. As a Yorkshireman, I respect that word. Paul Heyman speaking about this match at SummerSlam like it's a challenge. It's already a locked-in main event. There is a trap coming. There is 100% a trap coming. They are still cheering. They are still very much cheering Paul Heyman. Once Roman's there, they're going to cheer him. What the fuck is Paul Heyman doing? What an entertainer. What an entertainer. Rob says, I feel like John is going to roast the hell out of Heyman during this feud. John Cena is going to roast the holy hell out of the Usos, I guarantee you that. Heyman? Probably not. Roman? Definitely not. Bailey's just saying, acknowledge Paul Heyman. I will acknowledge our tribal chief. I will acknowledge no other before our tribal chief. I mean, that's literally in the Bible. You're not allowed. There's a Jake the Snake Roberts t-shirt right behind the announce team. And you know what? There are 2 King of the Ring t-shirts. 2. There's also an Inuyasha tank top. I'm not going to talk about that. Barry says, I was actually born in Yorkshire, would you believe? I would. I can hear it a little bit. I was born in Hull, but I pronounce H's now. And Paris says, I fucking love Paul Heyman. Dean says, I hope Bobby wins. You meaning against Goldberg? Because if so, yes, and he will. I'm not aware of a Bobby on SmackDown, unless there is. They are showing a recap of Finn Balor's return. Logically, that means we're about to get Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. Which could be a good opener, a good 10-minute opener. It's WWE Finn. I want NXT Finn. I think we're going to get WWE Finn. Big pop. Big pop for Finn. And Paris was born in Airedale Hospital in Steeton. Not a place I know personally. But to be fair, I'm right on the coast, so. I'm also responsible for a Mexican wave across the Humber Bridge. That was me. Cora says, is that for sure Lashley wins? I am never going to say 100% this person is winning because I do not want to be responsible for people placing bets. I want to make that very clear. I will not be responsible for people placing bets on wrestling matches. I thoroughly believe Lashley will win and defeat Goldberg. I will not say 100% what the end result is. Megan's teasing herself again. It's on you. It's on you. Lizzie says Paul Heyman can be a showman. He really is. We are indeed going to open with Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn, which is amazing. That is a great opening match. SmackDown has added a hell of a lot of real top-tier talent recently. Goro says because Big E won a chance for Goldberg, that doesn't mean he gets it. A lot of people have heard Big E say, I want to wrestle Goldberg, and decided that the WWE have said it's going to happen. It's not. You can't automatically assume that. It's more likely that Lashley beats the hell out of Goldberg and then leaves with his championship. That's the most likely scenario. Dean says Finn is going to bury Sami. He's not going to bury Sami. Sami Zayn is almost unburyable at this point. He's going to beat him, but he's not going to bury him. There is a massive difference. Oh, hey, Omegatron. Nice to see you too. Glad to see you, mate. How are you? And Megan said, at least my European prince is on the screen. Your European prince. European prince. Nice. You really went for the whole continent, didn't you? Can't just call him Irish? No? I need to go back to Belfast. I miss it. There will be a point soon, depending on how money goes, There will be a point soon at which you're going to see me streaming from a lot of different locations. Corey, whereabouts are you sat, mate? We'll keep an eye out for you. I've been trying to watch and see whereabouts you sat. If you're on Hardcam side, we're not going to see you. But I hope you're having a great time, man. I hope you're having a great time. Ismail says, did Sasha Banks return? No, but it's only 15 minutes into a 2-hour show. Still plenty of time. And the match when we expected to... the match in which I expected her, which we expect her to return, has not happened yet. Chelsea, how you doing, mate? And Sai Tom, how was your week? Thoughts on the show so far? Show so far, very, very good. Show so far is very, very good. My week was okay. I've been training for the new job. So far, so good, but I haven't actually trained for a new job in about 10 years, so I've been a bit nervous. I've got to be honest. I've been a bit nervous, but it hasn't been terrible, which is all I can really ask for. Like I said, mine's Irish, yours is Swedish. Why is mine Swedish? No, okay, yeah. Nope, okay, yeah. It clicked then. It clicked. Fair enough. Omega says, I'm doing well. Looking forward to Tegan on my screen tonight. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And King Pro says, why is Sasha in your title? Several reasons. Firstly, she's expected back tonight. Secondly, it makes people click. I'm not innocent. And Ismail says, SmackDown 7-8 on Fox PT. I have no idea. I'm over here in the UK. I don't know the schedule. If someone in the US would be able to let them know, that would be great. Dean says it doesn't make sense how Goldberg gets title shots without winning one match. I agree. I think that's entirely fair. And Corey says, we are by the announcers 6 or 7 rows back. I will keep an eye out for you, mate. That's a pretty good seat. Will you be watching the Olympics? Well, off and on. If I turn on my TV and they're on, I'll probably watch. There are certain sports I like to watch. Judo. Similar, but there's a certain disparity there. And I'm also quite big on curling. I don't know why. But yeah. And Megatron says it's 7 to 9 CST. So PT, that would be 6 to 8, I think. But honestly, just check your local listings. Should be available. Just pop on the channel and check the schedule. Hi, Ismail. How you doing? Megan says, the opening ceremony had so much gaming music in it. I was so happy. I need to see that. To be fair, if you've ever watched any of the Final Fantasy XIV streams on Twitch, they are incredible and ridiculous. But incredible because they're ridiculous. Oh, it's so good. King Pro says, we haven't seen one contender match lately. That's absolutely true. We haven't. The WWE have just decided month on month, all right, you're next. Cena's just walked into this. Sasha Banks is going to just walk into this. We don't get number one contender matches anymore. We don't get any of that. I did not watch the opening ceremony, Chelsea. I haven't watched any of it yet. Because of the time difference, it tends to be on while I'm working. Corey's got the Universal title. Okay, we'll keep an eye out for you. I hope you're having a great time, mate. I'm guessing you're only messaging now because the break is on. Let us know what happens during the breaks. Certainly, if there's a dark match, go nuts. Oh, well, one sec. Dean says, I hope it's Drew versus Sheamus. What's Drew versus Sheamus? If you mean SummerSlam, Drew's going to take on Jinder Mahal and Sheamus is going to take on Damian Priest. Ismail says, I am new to this channel. I saw it pop up when I searched SmackDown. So what is your content about? Well, here on YouTube, we do daily videos, 6 p.m. UK time. That is 1 p.m. EST, which is wrestling news you will not get anywhere else. If you glance around the channel, you will find plenty of news. And then we also do watch-alongs for Raw and for SmackDown. We do in-depth analysis and basically just have a bit of fun watching these shows. Our usual non-live videos are just straight to the point informational videos about what's going on backstage in WWE, whereas these videos are much more laid back like that. Jermaine says, Tom, do you think the SmackDown Women's title match closes the show, or WWE is going to close the show with John Cena and Roman Reigns tonight? I think it'll involve John Cena and Roman Reigns. Personally, I think that's most likely. Chelsea, when you say CM Punk has officially signed with AEW, if I pop over to Twitter, am I expecting to literally see AEW's account saying that this is the case? If I scroll down, will I see this officially? I'm scrolling down. I'm not seeing anything about it at the moment. But okay, I can confirm that Riku Chino is on the hardcam side. Genuinely, I'm not seeing this. Is it official, or has someone leaked it, or is this just discussing the Fightful report? Which... Okay, Chelsea, can I get a source for that leak, please? Because if it's a Fightful report, Fightful did not report that CM Punk has signed with AEW. If it's the Ringside News report, I don't trust a word they say. Fair enough, King of Pro. So 20 past 1 for you. Bless you. So that's 6 o'clock UK time. We're GMT +1, so it'd be 5 o'clock for you. Bailey says not on Twitter. So where is it? Where is it if it's not on Twitter? If we've got news, if we've got official confirmation, let's see it. But I certainly can't see it. No, nothing new from where I'm sitting. This is a really good match to start with. Like, this is an immediate hot start. It can't be too long, otherwise that'll start undercutting. Give me just like 10 minutes at most. Dean says, after SummerSlam, I hope it's Brock versus Bobby. If Bobby Lashley maintains that championship until at least Survivor Series, we're going to see Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar will be back. I would imagine Brock Lesnar will be back for the Royal Rumble. If not before, but I think Royal Rumble at the latest. Corey says, I'm having a lot of fun. The John Cena promo was amazing. Glad to hear it, mate. Glad to hear it. Jill says, still trying to find it, but saw it late. When it's something like that, if we can just source it, that'd be great. I know you tend to come in later in the day. You can tend to come in for the watch parties. On Spoiler Warning, we always make a point of sourcing any news we bring in, because a rumor is only as good as a person reporting it, particularly if it's only one source. If it's a case that someone brings something and says, okay, it's been reported by this, then someone else says, okay, I've got it reported by this, we're all set. Megatron says, I think if it was leaked and true, it would be a huge story right now. The Fightful report was a huge story. It's just that the Fightful report did not say that CM Punk had signed a contract with AEW. Another commercial break coming. After, what, 5 minutes? Another commercial break? Finn's getting really hairy. Megan says, so who does everyone want Roman to face after Cena? Is it too early to have Roman versus Seth? I think it is too early to have Roman versus Seth. I'd like him to run through a couple of baby faces, Nakamura being one of them. Maybe someone else. I'm not sure who at the moment. But I think there's a lot of a good potential there. Chelsea says, expecting to return September. Remember that. Expect who to return? Are you talking Brock Lesnar? Or are you talking CM Punk at this point? If you can just clarify that, Chelsea. And Paris says, Finn Power. Finn power is just not a term that sounds right to the ear. Are they saying Finn power? Because I don't want... Oh, of course. Of course they did. Do you remember last week when I said we're going to get back Finn Balor, the extraordinary man who does extraordinary things? They're going to brand him. They're going to give him catchphrases. Here we are. Here we are. Dean says, Roman is my favorite superstar. That's pretty cool because he's a big deal right now. And Chelsea says, Punk. Okay. Who expects him to return September? I know that I saw Body Slam reporting that Daniel Bryan will be going into AEW in September 22nd, but I didn't see anything about Punk. We do need to confirm these things. I want this channel to be the most well-informed wrestling news channel out there. I want it to be absolutely clear. Every piece of news will also come with a rating of reliability for whoever has reported it. It's not just a case of, okay, this person has said this. You will also hear something about the history of that person. Earlier on today, we spoke about Body Slam, and I said exactly what the situation was, when we can be certain they've got it right, and when we can't be. Michael says, if Punk signs of AEW, All Out in Chicago would be perfect. It would. If CM Punk does not sign of AEW, then All Out Chicago will literally just be people chanting his name. Got it, Corey. 7th row. We heard you. Dean says Punk maybe return on 2022 Royal Rumble. He will not be doing that. Megan says, I'm just imagining the Twitter meltdown if Punk and Bryan debut in AEW on the same night. Lovely, lovely chaos shall reign. It will. And I think that really, these rumors really helped AEW's rating and will continue to do so. It'll also add a lot of money to the bill that CM Punk provides for his services from AEW. If you are watching this over on YouTube, please do remember to click like. That makes us a lot easier to find on the algorithm. Potentially will get us new viewers and new subscribers. And honestly, if you can subscribe, please do so. Every little helps. I'm trying to get to a point where I can do this full time. And when I can do that, I can provide a lot more wrestling news. So please check out a few videos. And if any of them interest you, please do click subscribe. It goes a long way to my personal growth. Chelsea says, what would Punk's theme song and new AEW name be? Cult of Personality and CM Punk. AEW, I'd imagine, can afford Cult of Personality. That just comes down to paying a royalty payment, whereas he actually owns the name CM Punk, or at least Chick Magnet Punk. Welcome, Get to Tables. Thank you very much for renewing your subscription. We had a number of viewers earlier on today during Spoiler Warning that came via your channel, so I really do appreciate the recommendations that you've given to people over the last few weeks. Really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for dropping in and renewing your subscription, mate. Hope you're enjoying SmackDown so far. Bosika, let me know if I get that wrong. Or Boyska? Go Boyska. Says, do you think Brock Lesnar will return? Yes, just not yet. My expectation is around Royal Rumble time. Dean says, if Punk joins AEW, who will be the favorite? He will be the favorite. He's the favorite now, and he hasn't wrestled in years. And Paris says, I'd be happy to hear this fire burns. You will not be. Vabob says, you have a direct source in WWE and AEW. More than one, mate. More than one. If you look at my record, I've reported a lot of shit, and it's by and large been proven. And most of the stuff that hasn't been proven simply hasn't been proven yet. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times that I've reported things that haven't ended up looking true, that have ended up being proven incorrect. That is the case. But my record speaks for itself. And if you check out the videos on my YouTube, you will see video after video after video has been proven right. Video after video after video was there on that YouTube before anyone else reported it. Where Edge was, the Sonya Deville news, Becky Lynch's return schedule, Sasha Banks' the plans for her going forward. All of this has been proven accurate. Thank you very much, Dean, for the subscription. That makes a big difference. Much appreciated. Michael says, I saw a lot of negative comments on Bryan's Instagram posts where some WWE fans are so offended about him possibly leaving WWE. I find it funny. Let the man live his life. It's especially funny when you consider Daniel Bryan left a long time ago. He left a long time ago. Megan says, I'm not looking forward to Sami getting sidelined when the Saudi shows happen again. That'll be around November. He's got plenty of time to make his case. I think Sami Zayn is being considered as a utility player. This match has been really quite good so far. I don't think there's any actual plans to push him in any way, shape, or form. I just think he's one of those that he's too reliable. That was a really high basement dropkick. Thank you, Get to Table, saying, my pleasure, love spreading word of great content creators. Me too, hence why we've been doing the raids when we can as well, just trying to get the word out there. We really like what you've been up to and what you've been doing, and we definitely want to share it. Jermaine says, last I heard from Dave Meltzer, thank you for sourcing, is CM Punk is in negotiations. If it goes down, expect him at AEW show in Chicago. CM Punk has been in negotiations of AEW for almost a year. If you follow the Twitch channel, we've been pretty much constantly saying he's talking to WWE, but he's making it impossible for them to get him. He's talking to AEW. We've constantly been saying about these negotiations. This is an example of what I've been saying about sourcing and information. And now, here we are, and it seems like it's getting closer and closer to happening. Dean says, Cesaro is my second favorite. Nice to know, mate. And he needs all the support he can get right now because he is not being pushed. Omega says that match was awesome. It was. The fans were really behind it. People are really behind Finn Balor. I'm interested in where they're going from here. Paris says, have you seen the footage, by the way, of Tony Khan saying we don't have a performance center, we have AEW Dark? I have seen it. It's bitter. And I'm really sick of the bitterness. Baron Corbin's on my screen. That's a really grey beard. How much money did you make, Baron? How much money did you make? He lost money. Oh. I love this. I hope Corbin actually took the boss. Kayla Braxton just looks very uncomfortable. I love this guy. What has happened to you? That is such a good line. Big E now making his entrance ready for an Intercontinental Championship match with Apollo Crews. But seriously, Baron Corbin, take a bow, son. Get the Table says, with the AEW rumors of Daniel Bryan and Punk going there, do you think WWE brings in some big signings other than Brock? I think they kind of already have. That's the issue that we've got here. They've blown their load. They brought in John Cena. They're bringing back Sasha Banks soon. They're bringing in Goldberg. They are throwing a lot of money towards Brock Lesnar to try and get him back. They're kind of throwing everything they have at this. Who can they get other than Punk, other than Bryan? They can't get Ronda Rousey right now. And she would be the only person on a comparable level. They need Brock Lesnar. They need him. Michael says, that match just reminded me how good NXT used to be. The pace was incredible. Boy Scout says, I hope they push Finn Balor. Me too. I don't know how far they're going to go with it. But I do know, and if you check my YouTube channel, I have mentioned that the Demon King will be making a return to WWE programming in no time. The Demon King will be making a return. He will be pushed, but Finn Balor is going to lose a lot of matches in the near future because he hasn't painted himself yet. Para says, that was my opinion. In fact, that's my opinion of the whole AEW and WWE feud. It's just unnecessary. I get that they're trying to whip up that sort of tribal instinct, and it's working. People, when they watch AEW, feel like they're getting one over on WWE. And they're not. WWE don't care. But that's what's creating more buzz. They are tremendous marketers. Dean says John Morrison should be pushed. John Morrison does not want to be pushed, and that's why he hasn't been pushed. That may change at some point, but he doesn't want to be pushed. Vaibhav said, thoughts on feud between Jinder and Drew? I'm actually enjoying it. I'm enjoying it to the same level as I enjoyed Nakamura versus Corbin. Just a nice, relaxed background feud. It can go a long way. It can make a big difference. Get the Table says, loving these 3D graphics on the entrances. Big E's one has been good for a while. The Roman one's a bit creepy. It's a bit creepy. And Para says, I know this isn't exactly insightful, but I'm surprised at the amount of grey in Corbin's beard. He's not an old man, but I'm just going to do a bit of this. I'm 33, and I'm going full on silver. Also, you don't need to be insightful. This is not the show about being insightful. Spoiler warning is the insightful show. This show's just about having fun. You say whatever the fuck you want. Within reason. Don't be a twat, basically. I doubt you would be, but like that's the only rule that we have here. Don't be a twat. Jermaine says, Dave Meltzer also said Daniel Bryan, if he leaves to go to AEW, it's because he wants to do some work in New Japan. He does want to do work in New Japan. Imagine for a moment CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in a G1. I know John Moxley's going to be there. Give me that. I want it. I want it bad. I want it bad. Omega says John Morrison is having a blast doing what he's doing, or at least that's how it feels. And that is exactly correct. He's having a great time. He doesn't really worry about doing more. Dean says, I feel bad for Baron Corbin. I know, right? And Get the Table says, I'm loving Drip Morrison. Morrison in general, since he came back, has just been on, another level of entertainment. And it's been great fun. Megan says Corbin's 37 in a couple of months. Well, in about a year, I reckon he's going to be champion. He's running out of time now. Eli says Sasha Banks returns in about 25 minutes. In about 25 minutes. I'd imagine that's going to be our draw segment. That's going to be when Bianca Belair makes her appearance. Microphone. Can everybody hear me? Has my mic just abandoned itself? Is my audio coming through good enough? Just bear with me one quick second while I check that it's got the right one. It's got the right one. Everything's working. Cool. Jermaine says, Tom, who do you think Toni Storm is wrestling tonight? Difficult one. I'm going to go with Liv Morgan. Either that or she'll be in a tag team with Liv Morgan. Hard to tell. Bearbath says, triple threat between the New Day will be money. I don't think they want to do that. To be completely blunt, I think they will do anything to avoid having that happen. Dean says, Baron is better than King Corbin version. I agree. I completely agree. This humility, this future happy Corbin, I'm there for it. I'm really there for it. And Get the Table says, in your opinion, how long do you think Reigns hold on to the title? I was actually discussing this earlier, so I'll recap that. I think Roman Reigns will become the new record Universal title holder when it comes to number of days holding the title. I think he will take that lead over from Brock Lesnar. I think he will carry it all the way into WrestleMania, defeat The Rock, and then lose it close to, but not at, next year's SummerSlam. So I think he'll hold his championship for nearly 2 years. We're nearly at 1 year. I'm not bored yet. I'm not bored. The Rock's coming. I'm even less bored now. Paris says, I still can't believe that it's Seth and Morrison together because of the whole drip thing. It took me a while to get why they had them work together, and I was like, oh, God. I didn't mind it. Like, I know I should mind it, but I didn't mind it. I really didn't. Billy says, will Sasha be at the Miami site or Cleveland? Honestly, I don't know. I haven't got word on where Sasha is, just that she is expected back. It's one of those. She's going to be expected back like every week coming up. We're basically running off the fact that she was announced by ticket sale information that she would be there. A big "You Deserve It" chant for Big E, which is he's going to cry. He's going to cry. Vabav has asked for my thoughts on Breezango. Great wrestlers, great entertainers, great comedy stuff. Should never have been released. Should have done a lot more. Thank you guys for confirming that the microphone started working again. Oop. Dominic says, did CM Punk sign of AEW? No, but he is talking to them about doing so. We'll see if it actually comes through. He's a flight risk, and we all know that. Michael says, what do you see the Raw Women's title match being at SummerSlam? Triple threat. Rhea versus Charlotte versus Nikki. I see it being a triple threat. I see Nikki being added. So basically, I think the plan was always going to be Rhea versus Charlotte again. I think Nikki's just being added to it. Boys Car says, how long is Nikki Ash going to keep her title? Not very long, unfortunately. But 4 or 5 months is a very good first championship run. Get the Table says, do you think they are going the route of Big E cashing on Lashley to revenge his New Day buddies? That's the only thing at the moment that makes storyline sense. And I think a cashing on Roman would be wasted. So I would say go across. I think he's moving to Raw in the draft. And I think around TLC time, that's when he'll be lining up against Lashley after Survivor Series, after Lashley defeats Roman Reigns due to interference by The Rock. Dean says, last year, King Corbin lost 42 matches. Yeah, he was the jobber to the stars. Corbin was doing the favors for everyone. For everyone. He was losing to Otis at the beginning of Otis's push as well. Dominic says, who do you think will defeat Roman? Drew McIntyre. Dean says, Brian will not return to WWE. I'm not entirely sure on that one. We don't know yet, but we'll wait and see. You can't speak in absolutes here because we don't know. Bryce says, a Spears above Apollo look really good. I agree, actually. Here's Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode for some reason. Okay, they want the IC title now. They're rebuilding the IC title. Oh, look, it's the Boogs. They are rebuilding the Intercontinental title division. I expected a big multi-man match at SummerSlam. I suspect this is building towards it. Didn't expect Ziggler or Roode to be in it, though. Right, so logically, we need one more person. I'm going to say Kevin Owens. I'm seeing a 6-man tag match. Apollo Crews and the Dirty Dogs against Big E, Nakamura, and I'm going to say Kevin Owens. And this is our IC title division. Megan says, first solo title run, or do the tag titles not count? Yeah, I just mean solo world title run. I mean top title. They tend to give when it comes... Cesaro, it's Cesaro. They tend to have the first world title run be quite brief, including with CM Punk, including with Edge. Edge was only 1 month, just to test the waters. Cesaro wants the title now as well. It's swing time, apparently. Ugh. Like I said, they could have sworn they announced Apollo in a match in Miami. Possibly they did, but we're not there yet. Bibov says, is SummerSlam the end of summer of Cena and he will return to shooting? Yes, it is. At least at current. Those plans could change, but at current, not so much. King of Pro says, did the Rolling Loud stage collapse? It did, but they have still said that the WWE will be featured there in some manner. There are multiple stages. Get the Table says, always wondered this. Why is Corbin's finisher so protected? Because Corbin is a very, very smart man, and he refuses to use his finisher if the person taking it is not going to take the pin. It's choice. He has essentially simply decided to do that. Scott Hall, when he was Razor Ramon, did much the same. He never used the Razor's Edge unless he was going to win a match. Baron Corbin simply refuses to do his finisher unless he's going to win a match. More people need to start doing that. Yeah? More people need to start doing that. But nobody has ever kicked out at the end of days. It is the only move no one's ever kicked out of. Paris says, I don't fully understand why they had Apollo adopt the Nigerian accent. Not sure whether it's technically offensive or not. He does have Nigerian heritage, so I can't sit here and say it's offensive. It's not offensive. Ultimately, that's kind of up to him. But I do feel he actually... It's been the best part of his identity. It gave him personality, whereas previously he just didn't really have any. Dean said Dolph's selling is amazing. It is. Dolph Ziggler is a very, very talented wrestler. We have moved over to Rolling Loud. We have SmackDown. We have Wale. Wally. Sorry. Get the Table says very smart. He is a very smart man. It's one of the reasons WWE management love that guy. Love that guy. I am stunned he has not already been a world champion, but it's coming. Dean says Cesaro's not having a push because of his promo. Yeah, basically. He was supposed to have a longer feud with Roman, but he really didn't. According to WWE, he just didn't pull his side of it. He didn't do what he needed to. The Street Profits are going to be making their entrance with Wally introducing them, because Wally is saying, we want the smoke. So will this be Street Profits versus Otis and Gable finally? If so, that is a great match to put on in front of that crowd. The Street Profits are back. These are the exact perfect people for it. Dean says, yeah, I've read that one. Okay. Megan says, at least they gave the Nigerian prince and general gimmick to the two men with actual Nigerian heritage. Correct. And this is why I have to question whether or not it's offensive. Ultimately, I would leave them to make that decision. Chelsea says, the fuck is going on? Para follows up with, what the hell is going on? Did you guys not know? This is a Rolling Loud Music Festival. It's rock and wrestling, guys. Rock and wrestling is back. The Street Profits are there to hype the crowd. It looks like they're having a match. I'd expect this to be against Otis and Chad Gable. Or maybe they're just there to hype the crowd. Who can tell? Who can tell? But there's a ring. It is... Oh, it's a one-on-one match. Right, okay. I just had a moment thinking, why is it a one-on-one match? Because someone just had surgery and that person is not currently wrestling. I'd imagine they're just protecting him, or maybe he's wrestling next. That should be fun. Welcome, Conrad, saying this is pretty cool. That was a really good visual. Street Profits looked like stars there with Wale, with that crowd around them. They look like stars. And if you treat someone like a star, they will become a star. Get the Tables are excited they're having a match and says this is really cool. It was beautiful. Babeav says, why AEW isn't upgrading their production quality? That's one thing that makes WWE class apart. It's a little bit intentional and a little bit not. AEW intentionally try and make themselves look like the underdogs a little bit, so they're always punching up. but they're happy with their production quality. They want to be the throwback. They want to remind you of 2000s wrestling. They want to remind you of the Attitude Era. An easy way to do that is to have that as their production quality. Dean says Cesaro might get an Intercontinental Championship push, just my opinion. No, I think they've immediately said that that's happening. I think they've made that clear that that's the intention. Because that looks like it's going to be the division going forward. I expected a 6-man tag match. Turns out that's not happening. But it looks like that's going to be our IC Championship division. Paris says, I'd love if they did this for NXT with Download. They have done in the past. It was NXT, but they have done in the past, so hopefully. Weber says, will Naomi be there in the Bloodline? She is there at SmackDown. She could potentially be a member of the Bloodline, but I don't believe there are plans at the moment of making that happen. As in right now. I think they're going to do it just down the line. Voice Carl says, do you think Sasha is beating Bianca at SummerSlam? Yes, I do believe that Sasha Banks will be beating Bianca Belair at SummerSlam, reclaiming the championship. As I've said, first-time world championship reigns tend not to be too long. Look at Rhea Ripley. I think Bianca Belair will be losing the championship. Potentially there may be a trade to Raw. I think she'll stay on SmackDown personally, but I think she'll be losing her championship to Sasha Banks. That's just what I see personally happening. So SmackDown so far, pretty good. Pretty good. I have no complaints. That's the infuriating thing. You look at Raw and it can't match up to SmackDown. It just cannot match up. Very disappointing. For those not aware, when it comes to YouTube, we are currently sitting on 622 subscribers. We are on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in a 12-month period. That will allow me to monetize YouTube. Every like, every view, every comment on a video goes a long way to helping that. So if you are a wrestling fan, please do check out some of my videos over on YouTube. They're all quite small, bite-sized videos, which allow you to get some real information about what's going on backstage in the WWE, as well as some information about AEW. So by all means, check those out and see what you can find out there. Yeah, Para, I'm aware of that saying. By the way, in America, ads are every 10 minutes, either every 15. That's absolutely correct. I agree there. And that is, I spent some time in Florida, and the ads, I realized at that point that they never stop. They never stop. But yeah, to me, it seems ridiculous, but that might just be to me. Dean says Cesaro might win the WWE Championship the next year when Cesaro gets better. Sorry, Dean. I don't think that's going to happen. Angelo Dawkins takes on Chad Gable. Chad Gable, of course, an incredible wrestler. There is a big crowd there. Quite a small ring. Otis already cheating. The referee not really doing anything about it. This has got to be a showcase match. They've got to throw out some big moves. They've got to get some big pops. It's a good thing that they've got Otis who can, cause people to boo. Lovely. Lovely. And they've got Montez Ford who can hype up a crowd. They've also still got Wale there. Worth his weight in gold for this. Bebel says, one Miz versus Dolph feud before they retire. They do great work together. Para says, this view is incredible. They've chosen the perfect angle for the hard cam. You just see the fans. A good start. They need to hit a couple more big moves to get going. Bebel says, how much worse were the League of Nations? I didn't mind the League of Nations. It got people on TV and getting pushed who wouldn't necessarily have got it. I mean, Rusev became the WWE TV champion while in the League of Nations. I mean, he literally just stole the TV, but it's the same thing, really. Right, so I'd hate to be at the back watching this, so I get that. Hopefully they've got some screens. They've got responses from the crowd, but the crowd are not exactly hyped up. They need to try and hype them up a little bit more. Me too, Dean. I'm also watching WWE on TV. So if you are watching on YouTube, please do remember to click subscribe. It's a big help in my personal growth and will hopefully mean that I can eventually go full-time doing this because I've been working on that YouTube channel for years now. This November it will be 2 years, and I've never earned a penny. And I've spent a lot of days, a lot of hours, and a lot of effort trying to make that happen. I think they're piping in audio for this. Boy Scout says, I would love to see Damian Priest defeat Sheamus for the US title. You may get your wish. You may. Megan says, for Roman to break Brock's single record reign, which is 503 days officially, with the Universal Championship, he needs to be champion until at least January 24th next year. To take the all-time record of 686 days, Roman needs to be champion at least until May 24th next year. Thank you, Megan, for bringing in those stats. For those who don't know, Megan is our stat queen and is always bringing us really in-depth stuff and information. I believe he will hold it until at least post-WrestleMania, having defeated The Rock at WrestleMania. Given the option that they will then have to go an extra month and a half and go past May 24th, I think they'll take it. And I think just afterwards is when Drew McIntyre will take it. Conrad says, I love this stage. It's a wonderful little thing, isn't it? They put together something very nice here. Bevav says, one talent that is difficult to manage backstage. CM Punk. I've got to mention CM Punk. CM Punk is impossible. Oh, missed one. Paris says, I've been to a WWE show watching from the middle row and the ring looks so small. The WWE ring is genuinely the biggest one as well. I think they were expecting more hype from that right hand. Didn't happen. Yes, Bailey, that is regards the modern all-time record. For the WWF and WWE championships, that does not count the WWF championship. Dominic Perez says, is Ronda Rousey returning? Not for at least the next 2 years. She's pregnant, so it won't be for a while. Chelsea says, the only problem is no one in the crowd knows what's going on. They don't seem very interested. That's true. I do think they're piping in audio because it's the same pop every move. Oh, that's a win. That's a win with a spine buster. Jill says they went there to see music. Very true. A lot of people are filming, though. A lot of people are filming. They needed to do a bit more to start hyping this up. Verba says you should start clickbaiting like others. Nah. Nah, that's not for me. That's not for me. Bianca Belair is there. Sasha Banks is there. Sasha Banks is there. Dean says, Cesaro, Big E, Nakamura versus Apollo, Ziggler, and Rude. Dean, that seems like it's what they were putting together. But they haven't shown us it. Maybe that's what's happening right now in Cleveland. I do think they should at least put a match on in Cleveland. So I think they should be doing that in Cleveland. Para says, is it just me or do the ropes look loose? I haven't actually looked that deeply, but you would certainly have a good eye for that. So I'll keep an eye out. Michael says, this crowd is dead in Miami. Throw in Sasha Banks and we'll see if they stay dead. Megan clarifies, saying exactly those numbers are just for the Universal title, not the all-time record, which is over 4,000 days, I think. Just for the Universal title. Isn't Brock's record the longest? Or did Brock have 2 reigns? Dominic says, who's Roman's next opponent after John Cena? I suspect Shinsuke Nakamura, but I can't guarantee it. Megan says, imagine if we still had face Otis, he'd be crowd surfing. He would. I don't think all of the crowd would be getting behind that idea. Dominic, I did answer that question. It just took me a moment to get to it. If you just stay patient, sometimes I've got a couple of comments to get through, but I will get to it. Don't worry. I try to answer every comment. Jermaine says, I'm sorry, I didn't like that match. Chad Gable should have won. I don't necessarily think Chad Gable should have won. I think they wanted the face win to try and pop the crowd. It's just that nobody really cared. You know? We are in the draw segment, so we are 5 minutes to 2. We have Bianca Belair versus Carmella happening next. This would be a great time for a Sasha Banks return. Quick heads up, guys. At some point, I'm considering getting a P.O. box. Parry, you'll know where I got this idea. But I'm considering getting a P.O. box so you guys can send me weird shit. For example, theme stuff. An eye patch, for example, to add to the pirate theme that we have. Thank you, Conrad, for the bit. Appreciate that. Thank you very kindly. So I'm thinking about doing that. If in doubt, cherry Coke. Costs £1, and I would be very grateful of it. Keeps me going through these long, long days. So I'm not going to do it yet. I simply don't have the fan base. But if you guys have any interest in that, please do let me know, and we can talk about that as a possibility. Thank you for sending me that on Twitter, Megan. I will get to it after this stream. Michael says, what do you think about SummerSlam being aired in movie theaters? I just don't really see a ton of people going to a movie theater to watch a WWE event. I personally do. And I think it's very, very likely that people will do so. They are capitalizing on a lot of watch parties that are trending right now. You see a lot of watch parties. You look at the Drew McIntyre reaction when he eliminated Brock at the Royal Rumble. You look at that and you see people literally losing their mind. That was at a Hooked on Wrestling watch party. They're trying to capitalize on that. I think people will take it. The WWE have been trying to do this one for years. Years. Okay, we're getting quite a bit of chat in, so I'm going to fly through a few of these. Dean says, Cesaro surprised when he beat Seth. At WrestleMania did not surprise me whatsoever because I knew he was heading towards Roman afterwards. And in fact, did say that during these streams. And then after that, after he lost, that was it. I thought he was going to keep going. I was wrong. Jermaine says, because the Street Profits are there, Sasha Banks is going to need a crew to come out for her to attack Bianca Belair and the Street Profits. Not necessarily. She doesn't need to attack the Street Profits. She just needs to attack Bianca Belair or maybe distract her in some way. I think she'll attack Bianca Belair and then scatter when the Street Profits come down to protect. I don't necessarily think the Street Profits will be watched ringside. Jill says, I feel bad for the people at the actual SmackDown show. Hopefully they're at least getting their 6-man tag match that was sort of being advertised before the commercial break. Hopefully. And Conrad is saying he wants more eye patches. Well, like 2. I could wear like 14 eye patches just all over my body. Weird. You get me. You get me. Boys Carl says, why are they on the Rolling Loud stage and how long will it be for? And I believe it'll be just for this match. Just for this match. And it's because they struck up a deal with Rolling Loud, which involved a lot of money changing hands and a lot of advertising, basically. They are 100% sweetening this audio. 100%. Yeah, they struck a deal to bring back Rock and Wrestling. I don't think they're going to do it again. Megan says, Brock's had 2 reigns with the Universal Championship. Thank you for the reminder. Held the single reign record and the combined total as well. The all-time 4,000 days. I think it's Sammartino. I do believe that's Bruno Sammartino, yes. I know it was considered a long time when Hulk Hogan held the championship for 3 years, but it really wasn't. The Street Profits are not ringside. Carmella making her entrance now. Get the Table says, I like that they're doing this, but man, the crowd doesn't give a shit about it. Yeah, they always run that risk. They always run that risk. If they can make it look good regardless, they will. But this is the sort of thing that makes people look like stars. This makes Bianca Belair look like a really big deal, performing in this sort of manner. And they'll use this a lot. Paris says, I go to the watch parties in Manchester, was there for the Manchester Rumble viewing. I was supposed to be there for the Rumble viewing. I was supposed to be. Actually, a really great experience, both Hooked On and main events showing. Was supposed to be. But yeah, maybe in the future I will be. I get you, Dean. Brock has had 5 reigns as a WWE champion with a total of 761 days officially. Longest time he held the championship with in a single reign was only 224. Fair enough. The user says, what's happening in Cleveland now? I don't know. I believe a 6-man tag match still. Could be anything, to be entirely fair. I'll try and ask Corey if he dips in. Chelsea says, imagine going to this festival, being pinged, thinking it was just mad music, and then seeing this. I would have been annoyed. But there's a bit of a restless energy in the crowd right now. So especially, yeah, if you know nothing about WWE. Lots of people are taking pictures and recording things. Let's see if Bianca Belair can get him interested. I don't know if Bianca Belair can get him interested. We'll see. Get the Table says, I remember when NXT would do shows at rock concerts. Would love to see that again on the Peacock. If Peacock ever gets its shit together, I tell you. And you, Parrot, and you. I think at some point we're going to be going to a lot of wrestling shows together. I see that happening, you know? Plus, to be fair, every now and then I do go to Manchester just on a whim. So we could just, have a beer. There is nothing stopping that from happening. Just pop down on a weekend and be like, yeah, I'll have a beer. It's only like 20 quid for the ticket. I do work full time now. And the user says, maybe bring out Banks. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Chelsea says, what time is this in Miami? Miami is Eastern Standard Time, so it will be 9 p.m. I want to say 9 p.m. Gotcha, Power. We'll see about making that happen at some point soon. We can talk work there as well. Carmella's got a rest hold on. This is not the place for that. That's a bad move. That's a bad move. If you haven't already and you are currently watching on YouTube, please do remember to click that thumbs up like button just underneath the stream. That's a huge help to me. Makes this video much easier for people to find. The more questions you ask, the more you tick that thumbs up, the easier this video is to find. So please, if you can, be sure to do that. That helps me to grow, helps me to find new subscribers, and potentially means that you can get wrestling news for absolutely free, but I still get paid for it. So if you can do that, I would be very, very grateful. I've actually lost a thumbs up in the time that it's taken me to say that. That's a crazy world we live in. There is a chant going, but I don't know what it is. Chelsea says, if John Cena showed up at Raw now, the crowd would have actually lost it. That's a very fair point. John Cena was in Cleveland. He definitely can't get there at the minute, but still, if he could, he should. Carmella's got a pretty bad-looking welt on her back. She's trying to cover it, so she's feeling it. Get the Table says, seems like no one is really getting a pop. Do you think if Banks showed up, she would get a huge pop? Yes, I do. I think Banks is a crossover star. I don't necessarily think they'd be willing to do this without Sasha Banks being involved. Interesting. Are the WWE live shows any good in the UK? Yes. You get good wrestling, and because it's live shows, people are more willing to just have a good time. So you go you get a bit of behind the scenes stuff. Like Kevin Owens always tries to make people laugh in a rest hold. He always gets Roman. Always. Paris says, I actually won a competition at the Rumble viewing. Won an official Rumble tote bag, hoodie, t-shirt, and cap. Again, I should have been there. Together with a number of people. I was planning to go as a group, and then it just sort of didn't work out. Everybody says, why the WWE Network was sold to Peacock? Money! I think it started raining. I hope it started raining. It started raining. So refreshing. But yeah, money. That's the entire reason. WWE wanted more money. According to the schedule for Rolling Loud and Miami New Times, WWE have a 45-minute time slot. Right, they started at 22, didn't they? Which takes us to about 25 past. This match ain't lasting another 20 minutes. Well, that's the end. Match 1. Megan says, I think they're chanting for Wally, but I'm not sure. Wow. I can't help it. Wow. Chelsea says, meant to be raining and thunder till next Sunday. Fuck yes. Give me that. Right, no sign of Sasha. We've still got time if they've still got a time slot. Thank you for doing that research for us, Megan. Appreciate that. Belair's heading down the podium. Gotcha, Megan. So technically it's already changed. If Sasha Banks attacks now, she has to run down a whole thing. So I don't think she's coming. I just saw a blow-up doll. That's made it totally worth it. I just saw a very large blow-up doll being waved about. That's made it so worth it. Crowd are embarrassingly quiet. It's true. It's true. Kevin Owens is trying to help Shotzi Blackheart fix her tank. He just walked in. Baron Corbin's got shit on his shirt. He's got shit on his shirt. He's got shit on his shirt. I'm going to sneeze. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, he apologized to Kevin Owens. Oh, Kevin Owens was his friend, okay? This is actually a thing. Owens and Corbin genuinely do have a serious long-term friendship. I'm going to type that up. Oh, Owens is fishing in his pocket. Oh, he really owes him now. He's gonna. Oh, 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 oh. Take my damn money, WWE. Fuck me, did I enjoy that. Ah. Baron Corbin. Barra says a blow up doll, a former DDT champion is here. Ah, blow up doll. I always remember. Always remember. Humble Corbin. Yeah, he's learning humility. There's a face Corbin coming, and that face Corbin will be the champion. Probably not on SmackDown, but he will be a world champion. It's happening. It's happening. This is a build to making it happen. The user says Belair's KOD had barely any reaction. Nothing that the WWE did had any reaction. There was no reaction at any point. Megan says, I love Owens wearing a Viking Raider shirt. Respect it. Respect it. And Omega says that was pure comedy. Yeah, that popped me. That popped me. Edge is here. He will be continuing the build towards Edge versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. And I've got to say, the rest of the show is stacked. Stacked. Jill says, why didn't Corbin's online fund let anyone actually donate? It didn't. Here's the thing. They've kayfabed it. He said earlier on, right, that the guy who built the website took money from Corbin and then scarpered. Clearly, the guy who built the website just made a JPEG. And then he got his identity stolen and his bank account details. The whole point here is you're supposed to laugh at his misery until he just stops being funny. It's going to take a while. Michael said, Latina is actually... Your name's Latina. Michael says Carmella has actually gotten better since she returned last year in her feud with Sasha. She has. She's just not really getting properly pushed, you know? Thank you, Lizzie. I lost my shit a little bit there. You got my real laugh, at least briefly. Ooh, okay. I've got to. Show me Xavier Woods. How do we... Xavier. There he is. Let's see what he's put. Here we go. No. Yep, there it is. There it is. Fair enough. That's a good tweet. They'd have done this at Natural Rock concert, the crowd would be all for it. Possibly. Yeah, it's not quite the same. And Conrad just points out, yeah, he got scammed. He got scammed. I don't think there'll be a jobber debuting. I think they just stole all his money. Oh, it's such good shit. I'm sorry, guys, but it's such good shit. I will not get bored of this. God damn it, SmackDown's so good. I don't know how it happened, but God damn it, SmackDown's so good. I don't believe there are any other matches announced. We've got this between Edge and Seth. We're definitely going to get something between Cena and Roman. We're at least going to get Roman. And we've seen Shotzi and Tegan backstage. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get them. Tony Storm still has to debut. There's the thing. Jill says Edge versus Seth, Becky versus Nikki or Rhea, Cena versus Reigns, and more will be such a good SummerSlam. I don't think we'll get Becky in time for SummerSlam, but I still think we're going to get a great show. I really do think it's going to be a hell of a show. A lot of matches on it. And don't forget, best match we're ever going to see, McIntyre Mahal. Never forget Jinder. Don't hinder the Jinder. The meme is the only reason it's popular, isn't it? Last championship he had was a 24/7. Megan says, I'm seeing on Twitter, Cesaro did 22 spins during the match to Ziggler, going by the hair. Wow. Now, admittedly, what it will be is that Ziggler grabs him by the hands, and it's actually a case of Cesaro no grip on the hair, but Ziggler's grip on him, because that's how they do that. But still, it looks good, though, doesn't it? So, yeah, they did have the 6-man tag match. That makes sense. We had the build to it, so might as well. Still no Sasha Banks. And still no opponent lined up for Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. They're trying to get all the opponents ready, so they have to get everyone ready. So Sasha Banks needs to be back soon. There is literally no one else. The user says, will Bayley be definitely out till Mania? Not definitely, but they will not be writing any storylines involving Bayley until after Mania. Right, okay. Fair enough, Megan. Get what you're saying. It is cruel. It would be horrible. Michael says, I'm so glad Tony's on SmackDown. Her versus Sasha is a dream match of mine. That could be a lot of fun. I don't think we're there yet, but it would be very good after SummerSlam to have some new opponents lined up. We could get Sasha versus Naomi. We haven't seen that in a while. We could get Sasha versus Toni Storm. We haven't seen that at all. Lots of possibilities. Chelsea said, despite all the backlash, do you think WWE will ever dismiss the 24/7 title? Yes, but only if they leave the USA Network. The USA Network were behind the 24/7 championship. Jermaine says, hey, Tom, since we have plenty of time until SummerSlam, do you think WWE will do Edge and John Cena versus Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins tag match? Personally, no, not right now. They could, and I think it'd be a good idea. I think it'd be a very good idea. But I don't necessarily think they will, because I don't think they want to muddy the waters when it comes to Roman. I think they're being very careful with Roman's booking. Dean said, CM Punk signs of AEW. Can you source that for me, please, Dean? Can you tell me where you've read that? Where you've read that exact report? Because the only reports I've seen that with any credibility do not say that at all. Conrad says, what do you prefer, heel or face Rollins? I prefer heel Rollins, but to be fair, if you ask me from literally anybody, the answer is always going to be a heel. I prefer the bad guy. And Conrad says, I haven't heard from reliable sources. Neither have I. A lot of people have brought that into the chat and said CM Punk has signed with AEW. We are very careful with our sources when it comes to this sort of information. Chelsea is excited for the Cena versus Roman contract signing. Yeah, it's just going to be a promo off, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Omega says Tegan and I'd imagine you meant Shotzi there versus Corbin and Owens. Nah, Owens likes them. It's all good. Abubakar says, why Sasha Banks did not return? No guarantee she hasn't yet, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know. She needs to get back soon because they need a SummerSlam opponent. Abubakar, literally anytime soon. It's impossible to say for certain. She should be here soon. Megan says, I'm reading on Twitter the chant during the match was for Bobby, referring to Bobby Schmurder, the next artist scheduled for that stage. So essentially they wanted it to hurry up and get off the stage. Yeesh, okay. Barrow says, Seth cuts his best promos as a heel. Seth as a face is great to watch chase the title but not hold it. That was very much the problem that we had with Seth in his last face run. Shouldn't have had the title for that long. Great wrestling matches. Shouldn't have held the title for that long. Edge is going to throw some blame out. Just being a bit anti-Rollins right now. I don't know where all this hostility is coming from. He just doesn't seem happy, you know? Why is he not happy? He needs to sort that shit out. So I just got to... My tweet about Owens and Corbin has got a retweet from No DQ, which always is a wonderful thing. No DQ have been a positive retweeter of mine. But usually they'll retweet things that I quote tweet of theirs. So that's very nice. That's very nice of them. I do like the guys at No DQ. They've never done anything bad to me. Have I frozen? Am I still frozen? Am I still frozen? You're frozen when your heart's not open. Oh, I'm hyper today. hyper today. Let me know if I'm still frozen, please. Dean says, yeah, probably, but he didn't because Roman beat him. Megan says, imagine if Sasha returns during Tony's debut. Yes, I want chaos. You always choose chaos. You always choose chaos. You're basically a living embodiment of a chaos emerald. You're enough of a nerd to get that, I'm sure. Do I think Sasha will return tonight after Bianca and Carmella? There is still plenty of time. Sasha Banks can walk out whenever the hell she wants. Reference to Edge being in the Ministry of Darkness. That was a long time back. That's a good shout. Bailey says, not surprised about the Miami crowd being flat. Neither was I, to be honest. Imagine going to a WWE show and they interrupt it for a band you've never heard of. The crowd would not be happy. It's fair. Seth on his way out. Lots of fire. I'm liking his new theme, by the way. Takes a minute to get going, but it sounds like a Robotnik theme. Another Sonic reference. The user says Cena and Edge versus Rollins and Reigns next week. Have they said that? Have they said that, or do you want that? Because you're reporting that as a fact, and we don't do that here. Jill says, I can literally smell the drip. That's not bad. Come on. That's not bad. That's a nice suit. That's a nice suit. I don't know, Para. I didn't see a freeze, but I was clicked off. That's what you want. It wouldn't be a bad shout. I just don't see it happening at the moment. So I'll be happy with it. Abubakar, third time you've asked. Here's the update. She's not there right now. That's all I can say. She was expected there last week. She was going to be at Money in the Bank. She will be here soon to start building to a SummerSlam match of Bianca Belair. The only update I can give right now, she's not there. That is the third time, mate. Megan says, I do like shiny stones. Blue hedgehog's optional. Getcha. I imagine you're a Knuckles person. Call him the king of drip, but he literally wore the same skull suit as Corey used to wear on commentary. Were you unhappy with Corey wearing that suit? Did he look bad? Did Seth look bad? I think no. I think no. Cheap heat. Cheap heat. But I get it because there's not been a crowd for a long time, so cheap heat. Oop, missed one. Weber says, why no more open challenges are happening? Bobby Lashley literally had an open challenge on Raw this week, mate. Open challenges happen. Barra says, no, but doesn't this make Corey the original king of drip? Yeah. I'm not going to say more than that because I think that says it all. Yeah. Didn't even know you went anywhere, Dean. Welcome back. I guess says Rollins low-key stating facts right now. You're not wrong, but it's Seth Rollins and people hate this guy. It's a good thing that people hate this guy. He's a bad guy. Is Seth Rollins from Ohio? I've forgotten. I don't think he's from Cleveland, but I know like a lot of people are from Ohio. The Miz, Alexa Bliss, they're both Ohio. And they're from Columbus. I think Seth is from Ohio, but I'm not sure. Iowa. Thank you, Megan. I knew you'd be the one to answer. You know your shit. You really do. And Veo says, sorry, I can't watch Raw for 3 hours. I have other commitments. I respect that. Raw's a challenge. Raw is a real challenge to watch. He says, Seth is good at making people hate him. It's a talent. And that shows you who a good heel is. Baron Corbin as well. He makes me feel Baron Corbin. He just makes me feel things. Paris says, Seth from Iowa. Same place as Slipknot. Ooh. This is a very angry Seth Rollins. And I like that. I like that. Give me angry Seth. They're throwing in a lot of history. Good chant. Good timing. Dolph is from Cleveland. Got it. They're just soaking it in. Seth is just soaking it in. And now he's speaking down to stop the chant. People want to hear him. Oh, this is so nicely threatening. This is good, Seth Rollins. The intensity was very good. It's gone back to normal now, but the intensity was very good. Vera says Moxley versus Kenny 2 will be a treat to watch. You've already had Moxley versus Kenny 2. It's when Kenny won the championship, I believe. I get that, Dean. Raw's been terrible. We have a brawl. We just have a pure fight. Seth, wear socks. Oh. Megan says, I'm surprised it wasn't mentioned that Dolph's from Ohio, but then again, he's billed as being from Florida. He's also the heel, to be fair. Impaler DDT, Gangrel in the house. Vaibhav says, why is Cody committed he will never challenge for AEW title after loss to Jericho? Because he wanted to. Because it's a good storyline. Because it keeps people invested. Barra says, ever since he came back, Edge's promos have been so good. They have. Seth turned it up there as well. Conrad says, the white shoes make him a heel. It's always the white shoes. Hang on, Edge has got his jacket. Edge has got his jacket. What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing with the jacket? Don't hurt a man's jacket. Don't hurt a man's jacket. Return it. Respect the class. Of course it's against Zelina. Oh, Zelina's about to lose again. Paris says, I cannot wait for this match as regards Edge and Seth Rollins. Dean says, my dream match is Randy versus Kenny Omega. Randy Orton. I could definitely see that actually being a really good match. And Jermaine says, if WWE ever want to do Becky Lynch versus Beth Phoenix, this will be the perfect opportunity to do it. It will. That's a good shout. I would like to see that match. They've been trying to make it happen for a while. Zelina Vega came back for the jobbing, didn't she? Awkward start. Might well be about to take a loss to Toni Storm too. Forgot about Zelina Vega. Genuinely did. I forgot she was with the company. Michael says Zelina's a good opponent. It's a low down the card heel that Tony can easily beat. And Para says, I take it the Zelina versus Liv has just been forgotten then. To be fair, that wasn't the feud. The feud was Liv and Sonya Deville. Zelina was just a person who was there at the time because Sonya Deville was using proxies to face off against Liv Morgan rather than coming out of retirement herself. Para says, unless they make Tony lose, there's another fuck you to NXT. That's why I'm not committing. I'm not committing because I do not trust WWE. You were there for a spoiler warning today, weren't you? We spoke about the fuck yous that have been coming into NXT. That news video will be up on Sunday. Just a little smack in the face for Triple H. Oh, Karrion Kross, undefeated, 2 minutes. Nah. I'm going to read this word for word because it's funny. My second dream is Demon King versus Roman versus Cesaro. Well, we know already that Roman is a kinky boy, okay? We know that. That's pretty common knowledge. If you don't know about the Roman kink, you clearly have not been paying enough attention. But I do think a demonic kink is definitely going to work out in their favor. Megan says, Zelina and Liv are keeping that feud going on Twitter. Wouldn't surprise me if it happens soon at SummerSlam pre-show. I think they're just trying to stay on TV. I don't like saying it, but I think they're just trying to stay on TV. The user says, what is your biggest prediction for this year or next year? Drew McIntyre taking the championship from Roman, probably. Vaibhava said, one talent who Vince trusts. He trusts Baron Corbin implicitly. He trusts Baron Corbin completely. I don't think there is anyone in the company Vince trusts more than Baron Corbin. Genuinely. We are coming up to our final half hour. We still don't know what the main event is, but I feel we can be confident this match isn't going to last very long. Toni Storm making her entrance. Nothing from the crowd. Literally nothing. Absolutely nothing from the crowd for Toni Storm. See, I just read something about what happened during the break. Where was it? Here somewhere. Bear with me. I will find it. And I will read it. It says, if Drew takes the title from Roman, I feel it'll make Drew the biggest heel in the company. Fans will not be happy. Hey, I ain't going to tell you otherwise. Yeah, apparently Edge was whipping his own ass with Rollins' jacket. Great. Lovely. So that's all I want in my wrestling. So a whole lot of ass whipping. Right, so how's this one going to go? How's this one going to go? Dean says Roman will beat Cena. I believe that's correct. Abubakar, I've answered that 3 times. I'm not answering it again. A lot of red and black in the ring. Crowd is not into this. Is it about Baron Corbin, Megan? Did Xavier was tweet about Baron Corbin? The user says WWE tried filing a trademark for Happy Corbin, so there could be segments where Corbin plays golf and gets rich. I don't see that. I think they're just trying to swap the idea of, it's all a bit shit. Bebel says, why did Karrion Kross lose this week? I have gone into a lot of detail on that for spoiler warning. Spoiler warning is only available on Twitch. I'll stick that on. So you can either go over to twitch.tv/Tom Colohue, click follow there, and watch on spoiler warning, or you can wait until Sunday. Sunday is when I will be uploading the news that I've already shared about why Karrion Kross lost this week. All right, fine, I'm doing it. I've seen it. It was literally right at the top of my screen, literally as I came across. It's like it knew. I love that man. By which I mean Xavier Woods, but also Baron Corbin. That was a really awkward code red. Like that was a really awkward code red. Dean says, after SummerSlam, I hope Cena turns heel. He will not. He will be leaving the company again, and he will never turn heel again. You are right, Megan. It is impossible to hate any of them in the New Day. What the hell? Lost our feed on BT. What? Lost it completely. There we go. And we're back. Something happened. Zelina Vega lost a belt. And then lost a match. Were we hiding a wardrobe malfunction? Is that what happened there? Yeah, in the New Day, they're such genuine people. Did the belt get caught in Toni Storm's attire? They are not showing Zelina Vega. I think it was some sort of wardrobe malfunction. Not necessarily anything revealing, but some sort of wardrobe malfunction. They're showing her now. Is it Toni Storm's belt? Oh, we got stuck. Bailey says, awkward ending. True, but hey, it's a win for Toni Storm. It's a debut. Michael says, new finisher from Toni. It looked pretty good, didn't it? So it looks like so, yeah. The user, I gave literal in-depth information on this. It will be available on YouTube on Sunday, or you can pop over to twitch.tv/Tom Colohue. and check it there. That's how you can find out exactly what happened. At the minute, you're just speculating. Para says the finisher looked great, but yay, Tony won, so no fuck you to NXT. Nope, just a big fuck you to Zelina Vega. Just one massive fuck you. She's been back for 3 matches. Guess how many matches she's lost? Thank you, Megan. It says, going from pictures, it was Tony's belt getting stuck onto Zelina's gear or possibly her hair. Judging by the finisher and the grip that they were in before I lost the feed, it looked like it was a situation whereby they went for the finisher, and that's when Toni Storm and Zelina Vega got stuck. So they had to detach themselves and then do it again. But that's just from what I could tell. That's a boo for Jimmy. Jimmy Uso will take on Dominic Mysterio. The feud's continuing. We will get another match between these at SummerSlam, it looks like. And because Tony versus Zelina was a much better matchup than Bianca versus Carmella. Disagree on that one, just the crowd was more into it because they were a wrestling crowd. Omega says Usos were gold. We do indeed have that once again. Pat McAfee said something about clothes. That it looked like a wardrobe malfunction of some sort. Sounds like that's exactly what happened. So yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. So I'm guessing this will be the final match. Jimmy Uso versus Dominic Mysterio. And then we'll end with something involving Roman Reigns, who we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen Roman. It's unusual that we don't see Roman. I doubt we're going to see Sasha Banks come back now. Bianca's not there, so no point. So we are coming into our final half hour. SmackDown has flown. Like, genuinely just flown by. Really quite enjoyed it. It's been a very, very good show. The only downside, of course, was a whole section where they weren't in the arena. That wasn't great. That was not great. If you are watching on YouTube for the first time and you've enjoyed this show so far, please do remember to click subscribe, because we will be doing more watch parties for every Raw and every SmackDown going forwards. Abubakar, you've asked that several times, and I've commented on it several times. Is your audio turned on? Because if not, and you're not hearing me, you might want to turn your audio on. I have said that, the user. I have said that. Okay, Dean. Got an interesting bunch today. Interesting bunch. But a lot of new names. So do please click subscribe. You will get lots of news videos that you will likely enjoy. And of course, more watch parties that you can check out. Megan says, kind of odd though that they remember NXT UK exists on SmackDown, referencing it with Tony, but totally forgetting it exists on Raw with Piper and refusing to use a daft name. The daft name is the reason why. That's the thing. Piper Niven did not exist before she debuted on Raw, because she's not Piper Niven. That's how they do it. The user says, I don't know if you'll play, but who do you think will be the cover star for WWE 2K22? Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks. That's exactly who I think it's going to be. Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks. This is the best Roman we've ever had. Sasha Banks is at the pinnacle of her career. That is exactly who I think it is going to be. It's also possible, of course, it'll be Drew McIntyre, but I suspect a really clever move would be to make regional titles, much like FIFA. FIFA have regional titles. So have Sasha Banks on every single one, and then in India, Sasha Banks and Jinder Mahal. In the UK, Drew McIntyre and Sasha Banks. In the US, Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks. In Canada, Kevin Owens and Sasha Banks. I think that would be a really clever thing to do. Dominic and Ray have not walked out of a portal, and they are not currently wearing ski masks, which is good. I wish they wouldn't have done that at the pay-per-view. We have Dominic versus Jimmy Uso up next. Dominic is really happy to have fans. He has not performed in front of fans very often. Megan says, I saw a theory on Twitter. She wasn't allowed to keep Piper because someone didn't want her linked with Roddy Piper for some reason. I think it was a little far-fetched, though. I'm glad you say that's a theory because, my God, is that confusing. 2K22 is sponsoring. And we have no information about it. Just that SummerSlam is sponsored by it. I don't know what to do with you anymore, to be honest, mate. Dean says Corbin has to be the most trusted jobber. Yeah, but he's not a jobber. He has certainly lost a lot of matches, but he's not a jobber. Very different situation. Okay, has Jimmy also dyed his hair red? Because Jay dyed his hair red for the pay-per-view, I swear. Ooh, lovely slap. Just a nice slap, you know? Slight oversell. Yeah, we have just over 20 minutes left. We have at least 2 more commercial breaks. So I'd imagine it's this match. Then we have Roman introduced, walking down the ramp, stepping into the ring. Another commercial break. Haven't yet, Corey. They haven't really shown that section all that much. So haven't yet, Corey. WWE show is sponsored by their game. A couple of days after AEW show is sponsored by their new game. Nice little coincidence. Coincidence indeed. It's usually SummerSlam sponsored by the game. Para says, it took me a while to understand the portal thing, but he was meant to be Aztec, so Mexican, although being followed up by them wearing the Jason masks didn't make much sense. Indeed, it did not. Glad to hear you haven't found you, Corey. Glad to hear. You've got to remember, mate, I'm also hosting a show here, so I can't give it my undivided attention. Also, there's like a really cool orange hat in the front row. Also, we haven't been in Cleveland a lot, you know? You guys got a match that we didn't even get to see. Megan says the AWGM game is actually good, by the way. I've seen a lot of people playing it, advertising it. AW has a lot of unofficial advertisers, like a lot of unofficial advertisers. And the user says WrestleMania 38 or 39 main event predictions. Roman Reigns versus The Rock and Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. They're pure predictions. But you ask for a prediction, you got it. I'm an Ask Me Anything stream. You ask me whatever the hell you want. Yeah, both Usos now have red in their hair. A lot of people shouting at Jimmy. Rey Mysterio getting involved. Tried to attack Jimmy. Would have been ejected from ringside, but missed and hit Jay instead. Commercial break, surely. Oh, there's a countout actively happening. Dominic's really getting the crowd going. There is a commercial break. Okay. Jermaine says, hey, Tom, on the SmackDown Women's Division, excluding Bayley, how many female heels are there and who are they? You want me to list the entire heel roster? You understand that you could Google this, right? All right, let's Google this. Eventually. Yeah, it's not working because I'm streaming at the same time, so I'm just going to go back to streaming. You probably want to Google that, Jermaine, and they'll give you the answer there. That's the best way to make sure we're not missing anyone. Megan says, to be fair, AW allow their people to stream on Twitch because they're not assets about people having fun. True, although they have, they basically killed Botchamania, so, you know. Well, it's funny because you hear people say, oh, it was an algorithm. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I know about YouTube channels. I've worked with several of them. It wasn't an algorithm. Good to hear it's getting crazy over there, Corey. Very good to hear. Not long until the finish. I can't wait to see what response Roman Reigns gets. I really can't. No sign of the women's tag team champions. A number of other names missing, but I think a lot of people got onto the card in some way. Like Kevin Owens and Baron Corbin was just a backstage segment, but still, it was a good backstage segment. Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart, same thing. A good backstage segment. He did say that, Para. He did. A lot of people decided to believe AEW instead when they said, "Oh no, it wasn't us. It was an algorithm. It was a bot. It was a macro." And it was certain people who said that, not AEW proper. It's one of those. Lots of rumors, mostly to protect a company rather than protecting a person. AEW killed it. That's what happened. There was one big AEW botch, gone. Wow. Where's Sasha? I don't know. She was expected to return last week. She was expected to return Money in the Bank. Still nothing. I'm sure we'll see her at some point soon because they do have to build to a SummerSlam match. Who do I think WWE will fire next? Vince McMahon? I don't know. I have no idea. Not a clue. Hopefully, one of the sexual abusers from NXT UK. That'd be cool. Paradox says AEW seems like it does work better as a company, but they still have their own issues. I sometimes feel like they act superior, and I really dislike that. It's just quite a toxic and petty way to be. Every wrestling company has their own problems. They really do. Every wrestling company has their own problems. We have to stop putting people and companies on pedestals. We have to stop doing that. Dean says Corbin versus Kevin would be a great kickoff show for SummerSlam. I think that would sort of harm Baron Corbin in his push towards becoming a face. I don't think he's going to get a match at SummerSlam, whereas I think Kevin Owens may be competing for the Intercontinental Championship. I think it'll be Apollo Crews, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kevin Owens, and Cesaro. Maybe Big E, but not necessarily. The user says, do you think AEW will be like WCW and go bankrupt? As a lot of people are saying that. Who knows what's going to happen in 10 years? That's the issue there. Who knows what's going to happen in 10 years? It's not impossible. It's not impossible that the WWE go bankrupt in 10 years. We are nowhere near able to predict that right now. Nowhere even close. If a lot of people are saying that, they are making shit up. Because there is literally no way of knowing that. Barra says, just simply love all wrestling and campaign for all companies to be fair and wonderful places to work that create great products. Then they need to fucking unionize. Megan says, if Roman appears, then pretty much every man officially on SmackDown has appeared in some way tonight. That's good. That's good. A couple of women missing, but still, that's good. Something's happening on the outside. Fans are tracking it. This is definitely the final match of the night. That was a very bad roll-up. Jey Uso takes a hit. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. I don't know if it was supposed to... Right, so another cheat win. That's... was bad. I'm not there for that. That was bad. Dean, that makes literally no sense. That makes no sense. You're just saying words there that relate to nothing close to your point. I'm going to click it on screen so people can read it. It makes no sense, mate. It makes no sense. Here comes Roman. Bailey says the only way AEW folds is if Shahid Khan stops investing in it. That is not the only way AEW folds. It's not. It's really not. It is very possible to have AEW costing more than it is worth to run. It is very, very possible that's the case. And yes, over time, that may result in a bit of bankruptcy. But there is simply no way of knowing whether or not that's going to happen. Anybody who tells you AEW are going to go bankrupt, they just don't like AEW. There is no way of knowing. Barra says, don't know how I feel about Usos repeating the spot from Money in the Bank. If they're trying to build to Rey and Dominic Mysterio doing that exact same thing at SummerSlam, I get it. I just don't necessarily think they are. Roman's wearing a white t-shirt. White t-shirt. The user says, I thought WWE banned thigh slaps, but they are still happening. Yeah, they happen the whole time. They happen literally the whole time. On the women's side, says Megan, there's 14 women on the roster via Wikipedia. Only 6 have appeared. 2 of which are in a tag team feud at the minute, which just wasn't given much time. Also Sasha Banks, of course. We're looking at Bayley, who's injured. That's why Roman's coming down while the Usos are still there. Everyone holding up their gold. Michael Cole really throwing shade at Roman there. He's definitely getting attacked after this. So Roman Reigns is going to head down. We're going to get a commercial break. And then by the time we come back, I doubt we're going to see Roman again. I think this will just be... No, sorry. I doubt we'll see Cena again. I think this is just going to be Roman, literally, as it says, answering the challenge. I hope Cena did stick around. It'll certainly make it a lot more interesting a finish if Cena can come down and get attacked by the Usos. I do think there's a trap coming. They are building Raw. They are building Raw around Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. But I do think everyone's a bit more excited to see Nikki Cross. I have no idea what you've just tried to say there, Dean. If you can try that again, that'd be great. Oh, of course, we have a Raw Tag Team Championship match again. That should be a really good match. It was a really good one at Money in the Bank. Give me that again. I'm happy. It happens, Dean. Just try it again. So Raw has the building blocks to be a good show. But Raw has always had the building blocks to be a good show. It still hasn't been a good show. Paris says, really hope they let Nikki hold that title for a while. 3 or 4 months is what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. Doesn't necessarily mean 100%, of course. Things can change. But that's what I'm hearing. Every time I have the slightest drink of that, I get gassy as hell. Gassy as hell. No sign of Naomi either. She's, of course, on the SmackDown side now. She could have walked out with the bloodline, but maybe they're waiting for her to have a championship. For more information on Naomi's move, the YouTube video I uploaded today covers her move from Raw to SmackDown and the reasons for that. Yes, Jimmy Uso is indeed involved in it. Para says, Nikki's gimmick is money. The merchandising is 100% there. It really is. It really is. Ooh, interesting one. The user says, I hope in the draft Raw and SmackDown get new logos. That could be fun. That could be fun. Dean says, back in 2017, Raw was my favorite and The Miz. Basically, from the new brand split in 2016, I've all been SmackDown. I've been all SmackDown. Megan says, I reckon Nikki's dropping the title just before Survivor Series like a couple of years ago to set up a bigger champion versus champion match. Which is 3 or 4 months, so that does make sense. Corey, very excited that Roman Reigns is out. So excited, in fact, that he has become our new 24/7 champion. So I'm going to VIP Corey MLB. And that means I have to un-VIP Nemesis Paradox, who loses her championship. Corey MLB took it all away from you. Took it all away. Yes, the user, we do know they announced this last week during Raw. We do watch parties. We do watch parties for both Raw and SmackDown, so that's why that is live. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Dean. Not sure what you're saying. You can't expect Liv to win. Liv hasn't wrestled. If you mean for the briefcase, yeah, she was never considered an option. Paris says, Raw and SmackDown are pretty even, in my opinion. I really do believe it's the length that damages Raw, as they have to add a lot more filler. Jackson Riker. So all I'm going to say, as soon as Jackson Riker is on that TV screen, I could not give a shit. Maybe she could. I don't think she will. I certainly am not willing to watch a Raw just in the hope that Becky Lynch turns up. I'm going to watch Raw because of the watch party, But I'm not just going to sit there and be like, oh, mate, but what if Becky turns up? What if Becky turns up? What if Becky turns up? I'd rather wait for Twitter to tell me that Becky turned up and then turn it on. No, I do not like the guy in any way, shape, or form. Definitely not. Megan says, I just remember that they did that with Natalya, losing to Charlotte to get Flair versus Bliss. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did it again, depending who the SmackDown champion is. No, I completely agree with what you're saying there. And I think that's a very fair point. Dean says, Raw needs to be 2 hours again. We all agree. Corey, unfortunately, your championship is already gone. That is an un-VIP for Corey MLB, I'd imagine. You are listening to Roman right now and giving him a damn good boo because Nemesis Paradox has reclaimed the championship. She's taken it back. VIP returns. Baby. Absolutely. Roman's waiting to get booed. And already, Nemesis Paradox losing that championship. A quick steal from Omegatron 2K. You celebrated a little bit too much there. Just a little bit too much power. That's going to be a catchphrase now. Insert name of city. Acknowledge me. That's going to be a catchphrase. It's going to be a good one. Roman, I acknowledge you entirely. Guys, he's looking right at me. I can't ignore. I stop looking. I hate him for many reasons. To be fair, Megan, on Roman, everything works. Everything works. Ooh. Megan has entered the fray for a new 24/7 championship reign, claiming that from Omegatron. That's another 24/7 championship change. Oh, it's moving so quickly. That is true. Roman is right. I mean, he's right. John Cena does not evolve. I said this exact same thing. Oh, Roman. Oh. John Cena has no chance. Megatron says, dang, Megan really made me question my use of channel points in the future. You got to compete, man. You got to compete. And Power's really enjoying that missionary position line. Oh, the rain's getting so good. Just going to tweet. I repeat. John Cena has no chance against this Roman Reigns. I've said it time and time again, and he doesn't. It's Roman. You're not competing. Boys Car says, who's your favorite wrestler? Triple H. Triple H has been my favorite wrestler since I was a kid. The user says, when Roman says a sentence, it sometimes gets turned into a shirt. Also true of literally every wrestler in the goddamn world. And Michael says, these promos between Cena and Roman are going to be fire for the next month. Wait. This is going to be a match next week, isn't it? Finn's going to be losing to Roman next week to build to Roman Cena. Indeed, Michael. I'm intrigued. Finn's sporting a pretty big bruise on his head. Balor's going to punch you in the face, mate. He does have a win over Roman, let's not forget. Now, if you've seen my video on Finn Balor, you'll notice that I do say, after beating John Cena, I expect Finn Balor to compete, to lose, to lose, to lose, to paint himself, to beat Roman just before Survivor Series, to lose to Bobby Lashley at Survivor Series, and then to immediately lose it right back. That could still happen. The fans are really into this. Can I just say, damn, this has been a good SmackDown. Boys Car says this is not a good way to push Finn. It's got people hyped now, but he's not beating Roman. And I think we do need to remember that. You may suggest that we need to acknowledge that. Michael says, why can't Raw be this good? SmackDown's added quite a few people recently. And it's really added a lot to the show. Raw needs to start adding people as well. A Roman scared chant. The user WWE do not script Roman Reigns anymore. Roman Reigns scripts himself. That's correcting. So John Cena's challenge for SummerSlam has not been accepted. So what's happening here? Is this supposed to be Finn versus Roman for SummerSlam? Are we going to see Cena versus Finn for number one contendership? Good questions to ask. Damn, that was a good not SummerSlam. Damn, that was a good SmackDown. That's exactly what I'm going to put. Damn, that was a good SmackDown. I'm going to put. That's literally all I'm going to put because that's everything I need. Everything I need. Para says, so he has creative control over his promos like Bray does, or at least did. Yes, he still gets bullet points of, I'd like you to at least hit these, but after that, he goes away and he scripts whatever the hell he wants, usually with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's involved, but they're just left to do their own thing. No. Roman will not be in any trouble for that joke. He won't be in any trouble, don't worry. Get the Tables just said, fun show tonight, which it absolutely was. And Michael says, certainly an intriguing way to end. I agree. That was a very, very good SmackDown. I look forward to making my review for it tomorrow. But as of right now, Get the Table says, Reigns on a microphone is just on another level right now. They cannot compete. Cena cannot compete. Balor certainly can't compete. This is exciting. This is very exciting. I'm going to wrap it up. If you have watched us on YouTube, please click like on the video before you go. And please be sure to subscribe. We do watch parties like this for Raws, SmackDowns, and pay-per-views as well. And of course, there will be news videos coming out at 6 p.m. UK time tomorrow and every single day. Tomorrow it will be about news about Punk and Daniel Bryan and who we should trust as it comes to when they are reporting about Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And in addition to that, the day after, we will be talking about why Triple H is in trouble and why NXT stars are paying the price. Let's do a quick rundown of the chat. Hey, Tom, please tell me they're doing Roman versus Finn Balor until they get to Cena at SummerSlam. That seems to be what they're going for, yes. Finn Balor probably going to lose this one. Probably going to lose it, but we'll see what happens. Where will Cena be at SummerSlam against Roman Reigns in the main event? Does Bray still have creative control over his promos? Yes, but not as much. because they got a bit shit at times, so they just stopped. Dean says this show was good. It was. Boy Scar says 5-star SmackDown. Dean just says bye, Dean. We'll see you in a bit. Lizzie says Finn versus Roman. I want to see that. I want to see that too. Michael says see you Sunday. For anyone who doesn't know, I will be streaming most of Sunday over on Twitch as a thank you for the hitting 250 followers. I will be streaming the entirety of the game The Last of Us in one sitting. So please do check that out. Get the Table says, quick question. Is Reigns better on the mic because of Heyman or because he's less scripted? Both. He is less scripted. He's more confident because of that. But Heyman is also working with him to improve him as well. So it's both. And Abubakar says, is it Cena versus Finn versus Roman triple threat main event at SummerSlam? No, it will still be Roman versus Cena. They're just trying to create an element of doubt. I'm going to end it there. I have been Tom Collihew. I hope everyone has a good time over the weekend, and we will see you again on Sunday for The Last of Us, and on Monday if you're just watching on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't, follow if you can, and I will be seeing you all very soon indeed. Have a good